What if you were to die today? It's pretty grim, and thankfully, most of us don't have to deal with this question on a daily basis. Now, I never had, until I had to, in October 2020. Now, this was during COVID. I was working from home like everybody else, and while I was making my lunch, I started getting dizzy, very dizzy. And I sat down at the kitchen table. I waited for it to pass a little bit, and when I got up and as I was walking, it was like I was being pulled over to the right side. I thought, this isn't good. And I went to my GP, who thankfully had time for me at that time, and she told me, Sjoerd, it's probably nothing. It's probably stress or vertigo, but just go to A&E just in case to get yourself checked out. It was a good thing I did, because as I was waiting in the waiting room in Tala Hospital, I got very sick. My vision went, I got all blurry, I couldn't see anymore. My balance was gone, so I couldn't stand up, I couldn't walk. The doctors rushed me into a CT scan to look at my brain. And this was me waiting for the results of that CT scan, because I needed to let them know at home that I was still alive. But I couldn't read or write anything on my phone because I couldn't see. I could just about take a selfie. Now, when the doctors came back, now remember, I was 37 at the time. I was about a week away from turning 38, and the doctors came in and they told me that I had suffered a stroke. Now, if you don't know what a stroke is, you're not the only one, because I had no idea. See, I thought they were going to give me a prescription of an antibiotic or some sort, and I'd be on my way for some days of bed rest and I'd be back to normal. I even sent my manager a voice note saying I'm out of work for a few days. Little did I know that that was the start of an 11-month recovery journey, because I had to relearn everything. I had to learn to see, to read, to walk, to stand up even. And that took a while. And for the first 10 days while I was in hospital, I couldn't even make it to the toilet that was 10 meters away. So it was just me alone with my thoughts, lying with my eyes closed in bed. And what that gave me was time. Time to think about what really mattered to me. And guess what that wasn't? I didn't think, I wish I had a newer BMW, or I wish my kitchen was more modern. No. I thought, holy crap, what if I die today? And it made me realize that if I would have died that day, I was concerned about the financial, how I left my family financially. And luckily, I had time to fix it because I fully recovered, but many aren't so lucky. And I probably wouldn't have been if my GP hadn't sent me to hospital that day. But it changed something. It changed everything. Because now I realized that despite earning well above average, despite having all the trappings of financial success, I had not much to show for it. I hadn't looked after the financial security of my loved ones. So this got me on a journey to first fix my own finances, and then to help other people to do the same. Because while I was getting my own financial house in order, my colleagues wanted to know what I was doing. And I started doing Become a Millionaire sessions in work. Now, my colleagues loved it, and I was seeing real transformations happen, but HR not so much, which is understandable because it wasn't my role and I wasn't a qualified financial advisor. But I had already seen the life-changing things happening behind people's eyes when they realized that financial freedom isn't just for the ultra-rich. So I made a decision. I decided to become a qualified financial advisor, and when I did, I left my 18-year career in sales to start my own business. And I've come to realize something, that people are more stressed and worried about money than ever. And think about it. Every week, there's new rounds of layoffs. There's AI coming to replace our jobs. There's real wars. There's tariff wars. People are concerned. But when they come to me, they come looking for the tactics. They want the amazing budget. They want the unbelievable investment, the secret formula. But after coaching more than 230 people on their journey to financial independence, I've come to realize one thing that might surprise you. It is never about the tactics, and it is always about the why. And to help illustrate that, I want to bring you back to 1895, where Austrian founder of psychoanalysis, that was it, Sigmund Freud, he came up with a thing called the pain-pleasure principle. And he used it to figure out human behavior. And as it turns out, you and I were pretty basic. Because everything we do is based on one of two drivers. So everything we do is because we either want to move towards pleasure or away from pain. And when I ask people, what do you think of those two is the stronger motivator? Many people instinctively think that it's pleasure, but this is wrong. So if you're in sales, like I was a sales leader. I've used this for many years because nothing motivates action like pain, which is why I always ask my sales team when speaking to customers to find the customer's wound and to jam their finger into it and twist it around so that the customer realizes how painful it is, because nothing motivates like moving away from pain. But when it comes to our personal finances, we have this equation backwards. Because just like there's two drivers of human behavior, there's also two drivers of financial freedom. And that is one, our spending, and two, our saving and investing. But when you look at these two, most people equate spending with pleasure. The dopamine hit, the new shoes, the nice meals, the lifestyle upgrades. Saving and investing, on the other hand, that's painful. Because people associate that with punishment, with missing out, with something else. And if this is the case, and if moving away from pain is the stronger motivator of those two, we will never do that consistently for long enough. We will never save and invest for long enough consistently. Because it becomes like a New Year's resolution that we drop by February. It's not realistic. But what if we can swap those around? So this is what I did. I managed to equate spending mindlessly on crap I don't need with pain, and buying freedom for my future self and my family with freedom, with pleasure. And this, so every time I said no to spending on something meaningless, I figured I was saying yes to my future self. I was saying yes to freedom, to options, to spending time with my family. Now, how I do this is if I'm considering a big purchase, I ask myself 3 questions. The first is, do I absolutely need it? The second is, will this make me happy? And the third, will this make me healthy? And this is how I'm still driving a 13-year-old car. I haven't renovated my home and I haven't built an extension, because these are things that I don't value. But I don't live like a monk. I still spend extravagantly, but I spend it on a sauna in my back garden, mountain biking trips with friends in Italy, and ski holidays with my family and friends, because those are the things that genuinely bring me joy, and they're aligned with my values. So what can you do with this information? Now, what you don't need is another budgeting app or cutting back on lattes and living like a monk. And you definitely do not need a crappy savings plan sold by financial advisors. But what you do need is you need to figure out your path. Because in life, when it comes to our finances, there are 2 financial paths. And every one of us will fall on the spectrum somewhere between those 2 paths. And the first one I call comfort now. Now, this is the default path. This is the path that most people are on, not because they choose to, but because they don't question it. It's the path of dopamine, of scroll, click, buy, repeat. it feels good in the moment, but the following day, nothing has changed. No more freedom, no more security, no more time. When you're on this path, you will always be depending on someone else to pay you a salary. And hence the ball and chain. Now there is a second path, which I call freedom later. Now this path is not as popular. It's very quiet and it doesn't get celebrated on Instagram. But this path, every decision you take on this path will help you, will build something better than pleasure. It builds power. Power to choose how to spend your time. Power to walk away from a toxic boss, or power to be with your family, your health, and your peace of mind. The thing about this is that it's not about deprivation, it's about intention. It's about using money to build the life that you want. And once you do that, once you get a taste of that freedom, it tastes really good. And you'll want more of it. And you'll understand that this doesn't feel like sacrifice. This feels like confidence, like power, like progress. And the best thing about this path is that you can start walking it today, one decision at a time. Now, I had a stroke, a brain injury at age 37. I had to rewire my brain to start learning to walk again, to talk again, to see again. But we also have the power to rewire our brains and how we think about money. Because financial freedom is not about how much you have, it's about what you do with it. And Freud was right. We are all moving either towards pain or away from pleasure. But you get to choose what you anchor those emotions to. You get to choose to link pleasure to building your future, to buying back your time, and to creating options for your family and for yourself. You can live a life that is great and work on your financial freedom at the same time. Now, Freud gave us the psychology. Your current success gives you the opportunity. The only question that remains is what will you choose to link your pleasure to? Thank you.